Welcome back to NYSC TV Live. The Oliver Wyman Forum and the NYSC partnered on the CEO Agenda 2025 survey, revealing how 165 CEOs of NYSC-listed companies are thinking about and responding to the challenges that they are facing. Well, today, a handful of chief executives leading NYSC-listed companies participated in a roundtable event right here at the Exchange. And joining me now with more is Arran Yentob, who is the partner, head of the Global Client Office and head of Canada at Oliver Wyman. Arran, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
It's great to have you on the show today. Now, the CEO survey launched recently as a collaboration between the Stock Exchange and the Oliver Wyman Forum. What stood out to you in this year's findings?
It would be hard for me not to start with growth, which shot up the agenda this year in terms of being the number one priority for over 2/3 of CEOs. M&A, a big part of that. But it's really the interplay with cost, commercial effectiveness that I'd highlight. We also saw cost cited by over 70% of CEOs as a priority. And what we're seeing this year is companies moving away from pure cost cutting and focusing on freeing up capacity to invest in those growth bets, which are so critical for the year ahead.
Yeah. So there's been significant shifts that we've seen in business just in the past year. What shifts are you seeing from CEOs and boards and how they're responding to both challenges and opportunities?
It's been a busy year, as you say, more uncertainty, faster pace of change, shorter CEO tenures. And I think CEOs and boards are responding in a few ways. Firstly, the CEOs focusing more on the next 12 months than they ever have done before. And this balance between the day-to-day requirements and the longer-term vision, I think, right at the forefront of their minds. Secondly, we're seeing a real focus and redoubling on succession planning. I talked about the tenure of CEOs, but if you go the level below, we're seeing more turnover and a new skill requirement. And so a lot of focus from CEOs and levels below on succession. And then the final thing is really around board engagement. Because of all this uncertainty and change, we're seeing much more engagement from boards on both succession, but also performance evaluation and strategy itself.
Interesting. I do want to talk about the roundtable. You just hosted a CEO roundtable here at the Exchange. What did you hear from leaders at that roundtable, and does it line up with the survey findings?
Yeah, it was a great conversation this morning. We had a group of CEOs from across the sectors and a nice pulse check on the 165 that we did the survey with a few months ago now. If I summarize, I think the interconnected nature of some of the themes and the challenges in managing through uncertainty really stood out. The CEOs very focused on geopolitical risks, as you'd expect, very focused on getting ahead of the technological disruption, AI a big part of that, and also thinking about their workforce. It's a group that is managing and juggling complexity, but really looking at ways to build competitive advantages through that.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence, of course, probably the biggest buzzword that we've really seen on the horizon the past few years. What are you hearing from CEOs when it comes to AI?
At the core, there is a level of optimism that continues and was shown in the survey. Nearly all CEOs see this as a big opportunity. 60% have already seen material impact from the use of AI. But what we're also seeing is the pace of change accelerating. Yeah. There was a group of AI leaders, 17% this year, that saw 10% or more revenue growth or cost savings from AI, which is significant when you look across the organization. That group is, number one, I think, focused more on M&A to build capabilities.
Yes.
And number two, there is a scale impact. They tend to be larger than the smaller firms. That's particularly true on the cost side. So we see that differential between smaller and larger firms on the cost side. I think in terms of the use of AI in revenue generation, it's more of a level playing field.
Yeah. How are CEOs thinking about workforces right now, given the rise of AI?
Everyone we spoke to understands that to get the benefit of AI, you need both technology, but you also need the people. And so a big theme throughout the report and the discussion today was around investing in the workforce, both in terms of training and technology, to enable them to gain the benefits from AI. I think that spans across the board. Succession planning is obviously another component of that. I think we'll see a shift in the size or the shape of the workforce over time, but both talent and culture were top of mind for all the CEOs.
Mm-hmm. Arran Yentob, partner, head of the Global Client Office and head of Canada at Oliver Wyman. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.